jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back
Yo, big shout out to the hottest chat in the MFing game. A-Side official. No, the period. You already know. Big Blunts and Boxing is the first in the building. What's good with the Blunt? Salute to you. I see you, man. Bills Boot Camp on deck in the building. Salute to everyone that's en route to tune in. Turn up and tune in. Hit the like button. Do what you got to do to support the channel. You know what I'm saying? If you're over here, show your support. Real talk. That's all I'm saying. Show your support. Let's get down to it, man. You already see Operation Deep Throat. I had to put it up there because that's what I'm seeing from these so-called weird, strange mongerers that's been going around pretending like they're Canelo fans now. We all know who you are. You ain't in disguise. We know who you are. You're not Canelo fans. Canelo fans don't give a fuck about too much of this shit. Real talk. But it's more so the Errol sexual rejects, the asylums, look, the asylum patients, the ones who are escaping and going out here trying to reacclimate into society based off what happened last year, July 29, 2023 at the T-Mobile massacre. We understand that you are still feeling some type of way. You know what I'm saying? Operation Deep Throat is here, y'all. That's what I see going on since Crawford already slapped him around again August 3rd. Now, the same individuals that was talking so much BS last year, they're back desperately seeking attention again. They gave away hours upon hours upon hours upon hours. I can put a beat to it of their time that didn't do anything except piss that man off. So now we have those little squeaky ass voices trying to say that Crawford doesn't deserve or he shouldn't fight this, that, and the other. No. We're gonna get down to it. Let me bring up this live right quick. Okay. Let me try to bring up this live right quick. Bear with me. I made a mistake and dropped it for a second. Hold up for a second. I'm not going to be able to retrieve it right now, but we will get back to it. Let's keep it moving. I will return back to it. Okay. So I've been reading the articles and everything, right? And it said Crawford's latest triumph after defeating Madrimov, Bud picks who he wants next at 154. Okay. We're gonna revert back to it. But my whole point is I wanna help y'all understand something. We have a we have a situation going on in boxing right now where we have the big names, you know what I'm saying? We already know who they are. We're talking about one of the premier names right now. Also, we have Canelo, of course. He's going in there and fight Edgar Berlanga. And we have other fighters, for real. You know what I'm saying? That's out here continues trying to make a name for themselves. But in this particular scenario, y'all, I want you, I want y'all to understand how certain people don't gather, just pure unadulterated hate, vice, boxing knowledge, or looking at it from a boxing perspective. I've always said that they would tell you that boxing is a business, business, business. But when it comes down to making the business make sense, they just totally ignore it and just say a boxer doesn't deserve or he shouldn't get. These aerosexuals had plenty of time back in the day to stop the press and be adamant about the the 3 fight list that came out when we the fans are up here believing that we're hoping for Crawford Spence, and they're trying to backdoor us. They're up here slinging bats with nails and everything else through it. You know what I'm saying? Chains. They're up here hitting us over the head with stuff to keep us unconscious about what's actually trying to happen. We believe in we getting Crawford Spence, and they have a whole nother list going out. What I'm trying to say is Spence was already on the list. And people, those same individuals that's complaining about Bud stepping up, the only reason that they're saying that now is that they never had the opportunity to see Spence step up. And they were such cowards in trying to promote a 3 fight, 100 million. And Canelo falls within this too. Canelo knew about this. They was going to sacrifice Charlo and then sacrifice Spence. Spence would have moved up 47 to 68. These same individuals that get on here and talk about what Crawford hasn't done, they're not going to talk about what they was talking and what they was speaking on back in the day so heavily as if it was right. Y'all wanted Spence to have that fight. You didn't want Crawford to have the glory that he got on July 29th. You wanted to see Spence have an opportunity to step in there to face Canelo just like Mel Charlo did. That's what you was hoping, wishing, and praying for. Now, if that ain't never looked like a coward, I don't know what a coward looked like then. We have some individuals that just never had any integrity in their life. To me, what is that telling you? We're at a point right now where we have a fighter who has since proven the naysayers wrong. He beat a pound for pound compeer. He beat up a pound for pound boxing luminary. He beat up a pound for pound resident and division title holder. He beat him up in one night, took all of his straps, and he moved on. At this point in time, thinking back at how they was promoting that 3 fighters list, they were saying it was okay for Spence to move up from 47 to 68. These are the same individuals who will tell you that, yes, it was me laughing when I heard that Crawford was trying to fight Fundora, and PBC was sending Spence in there to basically cut that off. They're the same ones that's going to tell you there's nothing wrong with that. They was going to send Spence in there to basically impede Crawford's quest to fight Fundora. All because Fundora is an in-house fighter. Now stay with me. This is going to get a little messy because recently Crawford coming off the Mondramov fight, they said that the man looked old. He was 36 going to 37 and he had took a year off, right? Right? So I was thinking back, right? I was thinking back to myself. I said, wow, I remember that day. I remember looking at that fight in HD, and I said to myself, man, Sean Porter and Errol Spence, that was a hell of a fight. I enjoyed that fight. Hell of a fight. If it wasn't for a left hook, we don't know if we ever would have got Crawford on July 29th and him becoming one of the most violent and vicious freaking mercenaries we have seen at the T-Mobile Arena. We don't know if we ever would have got that fight or not if the left hook wouldn't have landed, because they wasn't in Texas. You know what I'm saying? They didn't fight in Texas. So therefore, it's highly possible that Sean Porter could have beat Errol Spence if he wouldn't have landed the left hook and earned that knockdown. So it's highly possible we may not have never seen Crawford Errol Spence July 29th, 2023. So I believe that, the boxing god, so to speak, was looking over Terrence Crawford in a sense. Because here you go, Terrence moving up from 35 to 40, and then having vacated his titles, moving up to face Jeff Horn, and then he started to tear. He started the rampage in the 147 pounds. He started to raise people's brow and get their attention to the point where they start to hate on this man. And he was doing nothing but boxing. He was doing nothing more than what Errol Spence was doing. Errol Spence was boxing. Crawford was boxing. Both of these guys was boxing. Now, who they was boxing, of course, it was different people. It was different people. In that division, people was more inclined to gravitate to Errol Spence because he was there already and he was a much popular fighter. Blah, 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 blah. We heard it all before. So as time went along, everybody was talking about this fight for years at a time, right? Years and years at a time. And then it was the hearsay, the hoopla, the hullabaloo, and all this other stuff that goes on with people talking. You know what I'm saying? The belligerency that start to implode and boil over in 147-pound boxing talk on who was going to be who was going to be better than who in this particular incident, in this moment. It became very, very nasty. The etiquette of boxing talk, from the Deontay Wilder era, so to speak, bled over, and then that bled over into Terrence Crawford pretty much standing beneath the cloud canopy of Deontay Wilder hate. And it's quite different. Both of these guys are dark-skinned fighters, but it's quite different, though. I mentioned this before. I know I'm the only one to mention it. Let me mention it to you again. It's amazing how the boxing community was saying that Deontay Wilder had a very undeveloped skill set. Undeveloped, fragmented, Mr. Windmill. And that's why he was hated so much. But Deontay Wilder ended up developing a rivalry with the fighter he stepped in the ring with. So much to the fact that people want to see it again after the draw, right? So, every fight, both fighters went their way after the first fight, but they had fought each other. As of Crawford and Spence, they never fought each other to develop a rivalry. It was just banter amongst the boxing fan. Even though that banter was pretty much aspersions, obscenities. You know what I'm saying? Not so accommodating type of decor when you're talking about boxing. Boxing used to be a gentleman's sport. Didn't they say that? You used to get dressed in your best and take your girl down there to see a fight. That's the way it used to be. But not anymore. Not anymore, y'all. It's not that way no more. Things have changed. You know what I'm saying? Things have changed. Deontay Wilder was a fragmented skill set, type of fighter. Undeveloped, broken, never to be fixed. And here you go with Terrence Crawford, who's considered one of the most technically sound master boxers in the game. But he is getting just as much hate as Deontay Wilder because he is fighting another fighter that's in his division, and he's the more popular fighter. You know what I'm saying? See, for Deontay Wilder, he was the unpopular fighter. Terrence Crawford was the unpopular fighter based off people not knowing who he, not really wanting to know who he is because, he was kind of reserved and people didn't want to, really dive into it. That's his deal. He didn't really want to talk to the public. So people was unaware. As you had Errol Spence. Errol Spence was more user-friendly to the crowd. People liked hearing him talk. People understood, if he said he was going to do something, they believed him. They believed Errol Spence, EJ, back in the day. They did. They believed him, bro. They liked his fighting style. He gave you energy, forward aggression, all that punch for punch. You land on him, he's definitely going to be right there to keep the pressure on you and land and get that get back right away. But it was weird how Crawford can give you the snapshots that you want when it comes to the skill set of boxing. But yet he just so happened to elevate and say, it's time for me to move up for my third division. And it's already some guys at that division. Now, when I say the more popular guy, yeah. But at one point in time, Keith Thurman was the unified champion. So Keith Thurman told Errol Spence what he had to tell him, and he never stepped in the ring with it. Who knows? If Keith Thurman would have fought EJ when EJ kept calling him out every time he was in front of the camera with him, we probably never would have got a Crawford, Errol Spence. I know for a fact if Keith Thurman and Errol Spence would have fought, and let's just say it was a close fight, it's a dang good possibility they would have fought in the rematch. They was two in-house fighters. Bud was the outsider. Them two was two in-house fighters. They would have had a rematch, y'all. You know what I'm saying? The boxing gods was working for this to come out the way. You may not want to hear what I'm talking about. This don't have anything to do with religion, but just think about it. Keith Thurman was already doing what he was doing. EJ wanted the belts. They always say it's a time and a place for everything. Everything happened for a reason, all this other stuff. They was two in-house fighters. Why they never fought, who freaking knows, man? Who knows? Who knows? He had beat Kell Brook. They was two in-house fighters. So let me peel back another layer and give you a bus ticket to damn go around the corner block or two, right? Think about it. Keith Thurman and Errol Spence never was made, and it was an in-house fight. And you have to ask yourself, why? Why didn't they ever fight? Why couldn't they have just gotten that over with and see who was who? Because Keith Thurman, he wasn't who he is right now. He was the man. He was a hitter. They called him one time back then. But why didn't these two ever fight? Because Bud had no chance of intervening between Keith Thurman and Errol Spence Jr. fighting for the unification. He had no chance. And Keith Thurman, and I may be correct, but from my understanding, he never was calling to become undisputed at 147 pounds. I know it got to a point where Errol Spence was the one that was declaring that's what his end game was. He wanted to become undisputed at 147 pounds. That's what I remember. But we're talking about Keith Thurman, undefeated, Errol Spence Jr. undefeated. It would have been a hell of a fight. At that point, both of the fighters are healthy, no accidents, no nothing, bro. We would never seen Sean Porter. Sean Porter wouldn't have been fighting for Keith Thurman old WBC belt, bro. No. He never would have fought Sean Porter. He never would have fought Sean Porter. You hear me? He never would have fought Sean Porter, in my opinion. He never would have fought Sean Porter. Look, Sean Porter potentially never would have fought Danny Garcia when Keith Thurman belt was vacant. What if Keith Thurman and Errol Spence would have already gotten that out the way? Then would we still been in the whirlwind of speculation on if Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford would ever fight? Would the rivalry would have been Keith Thurman and Errol Spence? Would Crawford would have missed the timepiece, his time, his window of opportunity coming to the division? What if they never would have allowed Terrence Crawford to build up momentum and get acclimated in the division? What if they just went on and say, hey, we need to make this happen now. Keith Thurman, Errol Spence Jr., y'all need to fight because, hey, y'all are two top names in the division. Don't let this newcomer to the division get comfortable. And people start saying, okay, all right, we see what he's doing. Oh, man, so-and-so pretty good. I guess he does have some talent that we should be concerned about. If they would have went ahead and stopped being so selfish and put Keith Thurman and Errol Spence together, you wouldn't have to hear my mouth on this subject. Yeah, I wouldn't have had to come up here and talk about it all the time. I wouldn't have to take out the vapor rub and rub it in your eyeballs. You know what I'm saying? And, get a Q-tip, put some in your ears a little bit. I wouldn't be talking about this. But we all know when it comes to the business of boxing and what we hear in this day and time, there's a lot of hypocrisy and contradiction going on. The promotion had the opportunity to phase Crawford out. You never should allow him to become the superhero that he is today. All of you all had the opportunity, if you knew what the fuck you was doing on this YTC, you could have boosted up Spence just enough so your voices can be heard to fight a Keith Thurman. Where was the energy when EJ was calling out Keith Thurman the whole time? Where was the energy? You all could have made that fight happen, got it over with, and it would have been the winner. Let's just say it was EJ. He beat Keith Thurman. He gets the WBC and the WBA. Now, granted, it might have been a rematch, so Crawford was still going to be on the outer skirts. He still would have had to fight who he fought. It never would have interfered with who EJ and Keith Thurman was fighting, because majority of Crawford's, almost all of them up to the very end, was opponents. They wasn't coming opponents of any other Keith Thurman or Errol Spence. You know what I'm saying? So the reason why I'm circling the wagon on this is that, you have these fans out here that's been lost for quite some time. People get disorientated when they get, cracked in the head over and over again, when they're stressed out, depressed, and they're really hoping bad on somebody, but it doesn't happen. You know what I'm saying? Y'all had the opportunity to prevent Bud Crawford from becoming a superhero. All you had to do was do what you always did when it came to Crawford and Spence. All you had to do was talk about in-house fights, what Al Heyman was going to do and what he can do and what he will do and all that. All you had to do was push Keith Thurman and Errol Spence, and you never would have had the momentum shift when it came to Terrence Bud Crawford. I know that's a mother effing fact. I know that's a mother effing fact right there. I know that. This is why I'm telling you, the worst fan base ever. I don't care who sit up here and shake their head on how I break shit down. I don't care. If you listening and you was able to hear and you disagree with it, that means you spent a little bit of time listening to what I'm talking about. You all are sitting up here bitching and complaining and absolutely delusional on shit that you can't change now. But the reason why I'm trying to speak to you in a sane, sensible manner is that you had the opportunity to stop all this from happening. When you was watching EJ on TV and he kept calling out Keith Thurman, you could have put that in motion. All your contacts, all of you cats out here talking about you got contacts and your sources and all that, you could have made this happen. You could have pushed for Keith Thurman. He wasn't injured then. What happened to the in-house love? What happened? You all had the platforms, you had the equipment, you had the time, and you had the understanding on how to do a live stream. You knew how to push your narratives out there just like you did Bud and Errol Spence. You had the gateway to do it. If you despise, that's why I'm saying a lot of you fake, because you just want to hate Crawford because it came down to a Spence and Crawford. But at first it wasn't a Spence and Crawford. Not too many people knew who Crawford was coming to him fighting Jeff Horn like that. He didn't talk to the media. But everybody knew who freaking Keith Thurman was. Everybody knew who freaking Errol Spence was. Everybody. Many upon many upon many. That's what I'm saying. All you haters that are taking upon to trying to do, hasty recovery is not going to work. You're ruined. You're damaged. You're damaged. You had every opportunity and the knowledge of the 147-pound division. And I've listened and heard a lot of you speak on in-house fights and how Crawford is never going to get this fight with Errol Spence because he's on the other side of the street. You dummies. You're too ignorant to think for yourself and come up with your own scenario-based freaking theories on how shit should happen and it makes sense. You all was just up here clamored together, just like sheep in the motherfucking pack. No one wants to be a leader. Y'all want to talk about in-house, across the street, in-house. It only became in-house when it was Crawford. That makes more business sense. He ain't selling no tickets. It make more business sense for the fight to be in-house. But when it came to Keith Thurman and Errol Spence, where was all the in-house talk, bro? Y'all could have made this a non-topic. Real talk. You could have celebrated in a different way, but you're not that strategic. Your tactics are not psychologically intelligent enough. Your intellect, when it comes to tactics, is not advanced enough. All you're doing is going along with the flow on social media. And some of you niggas think just because you read 3 pages and 5 chapters of a book, you know what I'm saying, you know a little bit. Some of you niggas ain't never left the motherfucking city. That's why you can't think outside the box on a situation like this. Y'all Spence fans had every opportunity to shut Crawford down for good. But now you spending more time defaming him and going on a freaking smear campaign because it was no leaders back then for you all to step up and say, hey, this is what we should do. If y'all ain't fucking with Crawford, why don't y'all go over here and get this fight with Keith Thurman and Spence going? Why don't you call your sources up at PBC and get them on board and say, hey, this could be amazing rivalry. Right now, both of them are strong bulls. You know what I'm saying? Errol Spence and Keith Thurman are strong bulls. Put them in the ring together and let's see where it goes. This is for a unification bout. And put a rematch on it. This could have turned into something crazy. We look, you could have caught Errol Spence and Keith Thurman, whoever came out victorious out of the two fights. It may potentially would have went to a trilogy. We don't even know. We don't know. It could have went to a trilogy, but we don't know. Y'all dropped the ball on this because you allow Crawford to basically get experience. You allow him to gather understanding on what route he needed to take in the 147-pound division. You allow him to explore. You allow him and his team to come up with avenues of approach on how they was going to get to the top of this division. You allowed them to stand fast too long, continue to be victorious to the point where Errol Spence had no other recourse except to fight Crawford. And at that point in time, we all know what had happened. Due to your dereliction of fucking duty and the worst fan base ever in the sport of boxing, you all didn't push hard enough. You didn't push hard enough. You didn't push hard enough. You wasn't focused. If you would have been focused, you could have eliminated all the stress that you have to go through right now trying to say that Crawford doesn't need to fight Canelo Alvarez. Because then you could have just focused on the man. You know what I'm saying? You could just focus on the man. Just think about it. Errol Spence may have never went for that WBO belt if he defeated Keith Thurman. He would have took the unified titles, and then that fight with Canelo Alvarez and him being Errol Spence Jr., hyped up by PBC. I mean, his boxing FICO would have been high in the sky. His fan base would have been crazy. His fan base would have been stupid right then. You know what I'm saying? Then people would have started talking about, I think that'll be a good fight. I think he can do it. He's been beating this person, that person, this person, that. He's a unified champion. He's selling tickets and all this. Then the Canelo fight for Errol Spence may have been a lot more palatable when it comes to the promotion saying, hey, why don't we give it a try? And where was Canelo at that point? Canelo wasn't at 168. You know what I'm saying? You see how I stirred the shit up? Canelo wasn't at 168 then. Imagine that. He wouldn't have to be touted to move up to 3 divisions. But at the time that list came out, he was at 147 pounds and Canelo was at 168. But at the time I'm talking about with Keith Thurman and Errol Spence, man, no. He could have caught Canelo Alvarez early enough to that man could have changed the whole destination. He could have changed his whole entire manifesto. Being that how popular he was back then, beating Keith Thurman and then potentially getting a fight with Canelo Alvarez. But enough of that. I just wanted to throw that in your face and let you know how you fucked up. All right? But let's talk about the reality on what you didn't do. Looking at the thumbnail, like I said before, you allowed Crawford to become the boxing superhero. You should have did enough to shut his ass down so he never could get that exposure. You know what I'm saying? Now, we're looking at Errol Spence in this light. Forget the Errol Spence that I was just talking about that was active and in attendance, and everybody used to rebel, with a cause to big him up. Now he's missing in action. Yes, he made 2 appearances. He had to come out for the Frank Martin fight. People wanted to ask him this, that, and the other. Then he had to come out. He's supposed to be impeding the progress of Terrence Crawford. See, what I just explained, what his fans did, is the exact same thing that he was doing too. I guess he was told by somebody internally to focus on a situation that really wasn't going to make sense or do anything for him, right? And when I seen him come out there, I say, this is not really going to work because I'm not just looking at Spence taking the orders. I'm not looking at just that. I'm looking at what is his health is like. Because the only reason that you are even thinking about jumping 154 pounds is because you were supposed to face Terrence Bud Crawford in the rematch. And you pretty much carried us along. You led us along. You led us on, believing that you activated your rematch clause after July 29th and you was going to fight Terrence Crawford, but all along you wasn't. You was just keeping Bud Crawford steadfast so freaking the other guy can get the belt. Then you come out here the early part of the early semester of 24 talking about you had eye surgery. So I want to know, and a lot of other people know, where is Errol Spence? It doesn't matter if you've seen him pop his head out. Where is he when it comes to the 154-pound division? Where is he when it comes to boxing? Why are we not hearing enough, once again, of the cowards that consider or proclaim that they are the best fans ever of Errol Spence Jr.? No, you have. You stabbed a man. You beat him over the head with bats. You know what I'm saying? You basically misled the shit out this man. You didn't give a fuck about Errol Spence. If you did, you wouldn't allow him to be so distant the way he is. When he came out, he started doing a little interviews. Where were you all? All you all was talking while you was jerking him off. What were you saying? He stopped Crawford. He stopped Crawford. He stopped Crawford. Did you have enough baby wipes next to you to wipe your mouth so you won't get none on your clothes? Every facet of a scenario when it comes to Errol Spence and Crawford, they're talking about Crawford, bro. But I'm asking you all, have you seen him when it comes to the schedule? Let me see. Let me do something right quick. Let me try to remember my home keys. Okay, home keys. A, S, D, F, G, H. Okay, remember that. I forget. Sometimes when you're talking about them arrow sections, you get a little bit delusional. But peep this out though. Peep this out. I'm gonna share screen right quick and show you something. All right. This is the reason why I have the missing with the arrow, the Errol Spence on the milk carton type of deal. I'm gonna show you right now. Okay, those of you that's still on deck, let me remove this and let's go for a little stroll right quick. This right here is Errol Spence Jr. All right, this is where it's gonna get extremely foggy, as only WCS know how to do it. Okay, look, this is Errol Spence Jr. 28-1-0, 22 astounding knockouts. Okay. Can you all see over there? You can hear me? Okay. Let me show you something else. As I stroll down here, down by the river. Whoa, I remember. Down, down, down by the river. I remember. I remember July 29th. See, the reason why I wanted you all to see this is because he don't have a fight schedule. He does not have a fight scheduled. I hear those individuals that said they was for him, by him, but all they want to do is fuck him over. The man does not have a fight schedule, and it's already in August. Am I right or wrong? It's already in August. This man has 29 pro bouts. So what that means to me is the individuals that claim to be supporting Errol Spence up to this point, why are you failing him again? Are you not trying? Did you not learn? Is it not enough curriculum out here on social media for you to educate yourselves? I understand some of you didn't strive for higher education. I know alternative learning or homeschooling. I know a big part of that stunt your education level. I get it. But we out here playing with the big boys now. We're adults. You know what I'm saying? We educated adults. What I need to ask you though, why are you not doing live streams asking a question as to why this is not yellow? Why is this doesn't have a scheduled fight date? When it came to when Bud Crawford and Errol Spence should fight, you always goddamn dropping dates out your pocket like goddamn old rappers. Like Lent. Hey, what's that? Okay, that's just old rap, baby. I didn't know I had that piece of peppermint in my shit. Okay, damn. You was throwing out dates all July 4th. Oh, they gonna announce the fight in September. Oh, they gonna announce the fight in October. Sources say. Oh, they gonna announce the fight in November. Sources say. Why are y'all not on top of this? Y'all was riding Errol Spence sack duffel bag, but you're not being on top of this particular situation. There's no need for you to be talking about Crawford. You all are showing and proving that you are nothing but stalkers at this point. You all are stalking Crawford. You're infatuated, enamored with him, being that you chose the wrong fighter. You all claim to be, but you just don't want to get online and say you was disappointed on July 29th on what Crawford did. But why doesn't he have a fight schedule? Why are y'all not equipped to have communication within the group? I'm talking about the aerosexuals, to get this ball rolling so we can know when he's stepping up to the plate. Because I heard y'all say all you had to say about what Bud didn't do again the Madrimov fight, what he don't need to do with Canelo. I heard all of that. But let me take you on another stroll, because I heard that Crawford was getting old. He was 36 going on 37. He looked slow. You know what I'm saying? I heard a lot of you all talking about him again. I heard you talking about him. I understand him. Not the Errol Spence him, but the Crawford him. Crawford wasn't even fighting another brother. He was just fighting a fighter that you had no awareness about. You didn't have no interest. You just wanted to big him up, hoping and wishing that somebody knew, a foreign fighter, that you have strong enough, long enough and strong enough fingers to swing and hold on to his testicles the whole time he was leading up to the fight with Crawford. Because you wanted to let him know, hey, whenever you get the feeling now, just let me know and I go to work. That's what they were saying, people. I go to work. I'm here for you, Madrimov. I like Madrimov better. It sounds sexy, Madrimov. That's what they were saying, holding on, swinging on Madrimov's testicles. They didn't even know the guy. Long as you beat Crawford, long as you beat Bud, man. That's all we want you to do. But let's talk about another theory that has came to the surface once again to show his ugly face. I heard people whine and complain about time, the amount of time Crawford has spent outside the ring. I heard about that. And see, once again, they want to place all the liability on Bud. for being out the ring, but they just want to jettison the fact that he was waiting on a rematch. You just want to throw that out, devalue that he was locked into a rematch. This is what the aerosexuals requested. They requested when he left Top Rank, they wanted him to go sign with PBC. He ended up signing a 2-fight deal, locking him in. The financiers were Showtime, though. Showtime was the real hitters. You know what I'm saying? He was locked in for a rematch. Once again, I repeat, Crawford was locked in for a rematch, and Errol Spence could not live up to his end of the contractual agreement, but yet they still blame Crawford. How do you have the audacity to be so stupid, to turn back around and criticize Crawford August 3rd when he was locked into a rematch like you all wanted to face Errol Spence, who dropped out? Spence is the one that held on and led y'all on, and then came out in the wheelchair when he was leaving Zaxby's from getting him a freaking goddamn number 2 combo. I just want y'all to understand that a lot of BS isn't adding up. Y'all talk about things, but the action is missing though. Where is the progress? You know what I'm saying? Where is the progress when you continue to mention names over and over again like you are infatuated with talking about this man's name, when the real person you should be talking about is the one that's on the milk carton? He is the one that you should be thinking about when it comes to time out the ring. Those of you that grew up when I did, you remember that song that used to say, "Time keeps on ticking, ticking, ticking into the future. Time keeps on ticking, ticking, ticking." Y'all remember that song? Well, it was ticking from the time Errol Spence fought Sean Porter to 13 days later, I believe, that he had an accident. We was all pulling for Errol Spence to come out that healthy. You know what I'm saying? We was all hoping that he came out of there 100%. But we'll get back to that. September 28, 2019 to December 5th, 2020. So as we was looking at Errol Spence's resume, right? He fought Sean Porter. Errol Spence fought Sean Porter September 28, 2019. That was just something that I just didn't. I try to look back on and I say, you know what? I wish I could erase that. You know what I'm saying? I wish I could just erase that day in boxing so we don't even have to deal with it. You feel me? I just wish we could do away with it because it really messed up a lot when it comes to the boxing history. We have Sean Porter, September 28, 2019, on the docket for Errol Spence Jr. He wins that via split decision. Tough fight. But he wins the WBC World Welterweight title. Porter down in round 11. He wins, y'all. He wins. He returns December 5th, 2020. As you're looking at this, 1 year, 2 months, 7 days. That's 14 months. 14 months he returns, you all. He returns. And guess who he fights? Danny Garcia. He wins via UD. He punched Danny Garcia up. He punched him up real good. You know, Danny Garcia's, you know, Puerto Rican, light skin. He punched him up. He punched him up. Danny went in there and took that paycheck. All right. Remember, Danny Garcia was the same fighter that he was sitting next to when Ryan Garcia made that bet. They've been friends for a minute. Okay? But that was December 5th, y'all, at 147 pounds. We're talking about 14 months out the ring. But yet, every time Bud Crawford name comes up, he only fight once a year. What about things you didn't see when Spence was taking these hiatus? You know what I'm saying? Like, they can't even compare Bud when you're talking about time in between fights. You can't even compare. Or they don't want to compare. They can compare, but they don't want to compare. You know what I'm saying? Hold on for a second. Okay, we back. So let me go to step two. You know what I'm saying? Let me go to step two. From December 5th, 2020, as we going down, as we was climbing up this ladder to the present, he goes from Danny Garcia, December 5th, 2020, to April 16th, 2022. April 16th, 2022. April 16th, 2022. I'm saying to myself, that's a long ass time to be out the ring. You know what I'm saying? That's a long time to be out the ring. From December 5th, 2020 to April 16th, 2022. That's a long time to be out the ring from Danny Garcia to come back and fight Yordenis Ugas. At that point in time, Ugas had the WBA the WBA super title in the welterweight division. Errol Spence beat him. The reason why I'm bringing up this, you know, and letting you all be aware of the time differences, because when it came to Crawford stepping into the ring against Madrimov, when it came to Crawford fighting David Avanesian, he provided you the reasons why he didn't want to be out the ring for a long period of time. You get my drift? So let's go back. Let's educate ourselves. When it came down to him fighting Avanesian, he didn't want to become inactive. But you all said he should have waited for Errol Spence. That's what you said. That's what you said. But when it came to Errol Spence having all these gaps in between fights, y'all didn't say anything. You was quiet. And then when he came in there and fought, you pretty much said he was dominated the way he saw. Oh, he dominated Danny Garcia. He dominated Yordenis Ugas. But he had all these months off. All these months off in between fights, y'all. And his pitiful, pathetic fan base, or so they call themselves, didn't hold him accountable to none of this shit. But yet they're trying to hold a fighter that they don't like accountable for something that he tried to avoid. Once again, the blasphemy. These are people the way they act in real life. No integrity. You know what I'm saying? Maximum stupidity and ignorance. You're talking about individuals that won't mention the time out of the ring when it comes to Errol Spence, but they'll find a way to talk about it when it comes to Crawford. Crawford can't have any ring rust. You know what I'm saying? He can't have any ring rust. You know, if they don't see him do what he was doing at 147, you know what they call it? They call it he's getting old. Or they might say he's getting old at the end, but they'll say Madrimov was just that good. Bud was never that good to begin with. I told you he wasn't. But he said he wanted to fight in 2022, and they didn't want to fight. So he removed himself and went in there and fight in Omaha, got a fight in, then came back and fought the following year. He didn't want to be out the ring. But at that time, check this out. Once again, you have to hold these people accountable. Errol Spence Jr. just showed us that there's other things going on by not taking a rematch with Crawford. But let's go back to April now. Once he defeated Yordenis Ugas in April 2022, what was taking him so long to get back in the ring? Y'all gonna blame Crawford too? What was taking him so long to get back in the ring? April to April, May, June, July. So it's Crawford's fault that Spence came back in 15 months again? It's Crawford's fault? Because I'm showing you the time in between Sean Porter, Danny Garcia, Yordenis Ugas, and from Ugas to the to that infamous day, July 29th, 2023. These are average 13, 14 months. Average, y'all. You all are focused on the wrong thing at the end of the day. Because when Errol Spence picked up the freaking belt from Ugas, Crawford did what he's supposed to do. Once again, he came back the following year and made the fight. They had to make the fight for, whenever, the July. He did what he's supposed to do. In that time, you all were saying what Crawford should do. This is what he should do. He did it. He went in there, he fought Spence, and he won. After that, he was locked in contractually. You all up here saying, oh, man, he should rematch. Crawford should rematch. It'll be different at a higher weight. We need to see this fight at 154. It'll be different at 154. You all coming up with all these other scenarios. I remember. I said to myself, okay, all right, they're going to lose some hair over here. But, it's going to be some black turning to gray. People going to start to get headaches, migraines, all that shit. That's what they want. That's what they wanted to see. Crawford was locked in every since he left Top Rank from fighting Sean Porter back in 2021. They was telling that man what he should do. If you had it all planned out on what Crawford should do, why are you here today? All because you derelict on what you should have did to prevent this from happening in the first place. This your dereliction of duty. You all was talking about the wrong freaking thing. Now you want to think, oh, we can still, I knew more than what I did back then, so we have more to go off of right now. It's not gonna matter. It's not gonna matter if you say that he don't suppose to, he shouldn't get Canelo. Because at the end of the day, the fighter that you want to fight Canelo back in the day, he didn't even fight Canelo. And he never will fight Canelo. Errol Spence will never fight Canelo, bro. Not even in an exhibition match in the next 5 years. But staying on topic, you see these dates, right? All the way to July 29th, 1 year, 3 months, 13 days. Then you go from July 29th to December, the end of this year. That's another year and 5 months. This is Errol Spence, yo. 17 months. He would be out the ring if he was to step in there in January or step in there December. How are you helping your fighter? You're worrying about him. He's already here. He's already him. And you try to stop him from being him, but he's already him. It's over. It's over. You, after his first defeat, will Spence ever return to 100%? His first defeat was just a year ago. Outside of a year ago, will Spence ever be 100%? Have y'all found your resources out in town, just basically catching a chicken sub at Jersey Mike's on honey wheat with banana peppers and bell peppers, onions, a little garlic, mayo. When you was out having lunch, did you find any of your sources roaming around that you can kind of get some information about Spence? Is he 100% to fight? I don't think so, because I haven't really heard or see any fight schedule. See, sometimes it's not how fast you sprint, in a race that's damn near deemed to be a marathon. Just because the gun go off and they have you in the blocks doesn't mean it's going to be a 60 to 100-yard dash. Doesn't mean it's going to be a dash. Have you found out, is this man 100%? Because I remember seeing, I'm sitting there and looking at people's lives, and I'm seeing how jovial they were. You know what I'm saying? They extremely jolly. They was up there throwing jelly beans in the air. Yeah. And yeah, that go Errol right there. Look at him. Look, they was happy. Errol Spence blocks freaking Terrence Crawford from fighting Fundora. I mean, did you see them? They was up there throwing Skittles high in the motherfucking, running all in the room, running in the lamps and shit. Goddamn, all the goddamn try to catch jelly beans and Skittles and shit. But they don't have anyone to find out the resource. Is Errol Spence 100%? Let's try to find this out too. Let's try to understand this. Where Terrence Crawford is at this moment in his career, being a 4-division champion. I want to reiterate something that Shaw News mentioned. He said he was over there giving a free pro bono. He mentioned Terrence Crawford being the cash cow of boxing. Certain individuals wasn't on the level to understand, on the business sense, where he was at with that statement. So you have to say to yourself, this is the fighter that the Errol sex was allowed to get out of hand and get acclimated to the unit and become the superhero of boxing. Yes, because you become superhero-esque, immortal, when people up here saying that you can't, but you keep on canning. And you find out you was on the front end of that cannon. But you were saying they can't. So let me ask you this. If Canelo is requesting a preposterous amount of ticket, purse, to fight Terrence Crawford, when he is uttered out of his own mouth that Crawford, he would get nothing from fighting him, you know what I'm saying? He's too small. He's basically been on record as saying that. So now you're changing it up in hindsight because you feel that the Crawford that you saw in there with Majamov is anything less than Hami Magia? You feel that he's anything less than John Ryder? You feel that the Crawford you saw in there with Madrimov is anything less than Jamel Charlo? To the point now, he's not too quick. It depends on how he's feeling, because Canelo is all over the place, man. You know, one minute he say he gets nothing. Why should I do that? I don't have to fight him till. Oh, I don't like to fight guys like Crawford because they move around a lot. And see, I'm calling you a liar on that, Canelo, because Caleb Plant did just that, and you had no problem getting to Caleb Plant. So I have to call you a liar on that. I'm not going to call you a mother effer like some people do just to get your attention and act like you don't know English. But Caleb Plant was a mover. But I guess you had to fight him because you made a declaration like Spence that you wanted to be undisputed at 168 pounds. You wanted to be undisputed at 168 pounds. So you knew Caleb was a mover. Caleb's moved in several of the fights I've seen. So you saying you don't like fighting guys like Crawford all because it's Crawford, but yet and still you say he's easy money. Just like Shaw News had mentioned. Well, he must be the cash cow if you want 150 million for him. He must be that good. You just don't want to give him credit. When people say the cash cow, they tend to get complacent and think that it's the money that's made. But sometimes it's the money that's requested. Because not every fighter is going to request an absurd amount of purse on a fighter that haven't even been in a situation or a bout or a fight, haven't even built up their boxing FICO, haven't the resume or the portfolio or the body of work for that to be even respected out here in the general public. But Crawford has. Crawford has earned that. You know, Bud has did what he needed to do to convince Canelo he needs 150 to fight Bud. A fighter who Canelo believes he going to get nothing from. If he truly felt that Crawford was old and out of his time, he will fight him. Because now is a better time than much, because no matter how you try to hype up the Mexican, Puerto Rican, boxing fan base, fans deep down inside want to see you fight Crawford. And at this point, Canelo has absolutely certified official, became a Crawford duck. He wants to avoid with every excuse in the book, and then he'll try to turn around and act like he's the maestro. I don't have to do that. I'm Canelo. He start getting that high pitch in his voice. I don't have to do that. What has he done? I don't like fighting guys that move around all the time. So would you fight him? Oh, yeah, sure. He's easy money. Easy money. So he easy money, but yet now you're going to say he easy money and turn the attention to Turkey Al-Sheikh. I don't like the way he's talking to me. As long as I've been in this game of boxing, it's been about etiquette, decor. You know what I'm saying? Tact, bearing. That's what it's been to me ever since I've known the core. I've never switched up from it. I'm going to tell you. You know what I'm saying? For that guy to even consider talking to me, an employee of the sport, he's done lost his goddamn mind. I'm Canelo Alvarez. Saul, if you knew me as a kid. I mean, come on, bro. Now he's mad at Turkey Al-Sheikh, and he's going to cut off the line telling me I don't like how he's talking to me. This guy's giving you money, the biggest payday of your possible, and for whatever he offered you, you're not even complaining about that. You just saying, oh, I don't like the way he's talking to me. I don't like the way he's talking to me. This man is trying to get something locked in, so after the Crawford fight, he can announce that we have locked in the Canelo fight. Isn't that what they do, Canelo? You remember when you fought Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.? You remember that, Canelo. When you went in there and beat him up for 12 rounds, and then you had Gennady Golovkin come through the ropes, and they announced you and him would be fighting. Same thing that the Sheik is doing right now. He wants to lock it in, but you don't want to lock it all. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, bro. That's all I'm saying. You wouldn't want 150 million for an average civilian. You know what I'm saying? That's 150 million for a superhero. For a superhero, man. You should have did your due diligence. I know you didn't have anything to do with Canelo, but stop faking to the people. They're not good for you, man. Don't let them fake you like that. They're only over there asking you those questions, trying to be antagonists. They don't really fuck with you, Nello. They just don't want Crawford to have the opportunity that their favorite fighter was in a position to get, but he blew it. You know how he blew it? Because they was busy up here mesmerized, just like these aerosexuals, mesmerized off topic, don't know what the hell they supposed to be thinking about of freaking productivity. They have no freaking mission statement or anything. They're just out here going with the flow. The same shit all the time. Over and over again. But let me tell you something about Errol Spence, y'all. And this is nothing on Errol Spence. I'm just letting you know. Potentially, Errol Spence may have eye problems that's keeping him out the ring. And it ain't cataracts. Okay? I'm going to put it out there. I know all the other people that's going to, try to do lies behind me. It ain't cataracts either. Okay? It's not cataracts. The reason why I put this picture of him, back in the day is because I want them to do a mental reset on Spence. Oh, what it would have been like. I want you to do a mental reset on Spence. That's why I brought in the old school picture and threw that on the nail. You know what I'm saying? When he was a hundo. That when he was 100%. But is he the same after Crawford? You have to ask yourself. But check this out, though. Check this out. Let's stay on topic. Allegedly, Spence may have eye issues dealing with detached retinas. That's why you're not seeing him right now fight Fundora in 2024 in the ring. Okay? You can take it however you see it. Hint, hint. But that's one big reason, allegedly, why he's not taking a Fundora fight this year. Because allegedly, Spence has retina problems, detached retina problems. You know what I'm saying? You remember he had the Macaulay effect. And then, he ended up having the cataract effect. What if the cataract effect was the detached retina effect? You know what I'm saying? What if that was truly detached retinas? You know what I'm saying? What if that was the issue? Because Spence the one came out talking about he had eye problems before stepping in the ring with Crawford. And that's why he was getting hit with all those jabs and hooks. Well, we do remember he was getting hit with jabs and power punches with Yordenis Ugas. But the only fighter he wanted to really take the glory away from was Crawford. I get it. But I just wanted to put that out there that Spence allegedly may possibly have issues with his retina. So don't be mad if Crawford gets that freaking WBC shot. Because it's no look, listen to me, y'all. It's no point in Errol Spence coming back next year. Come on, man. Come on. August, September, October, November, December. Let's get January, February. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 months? And you want to go in there and fight Fundora? But yet they up here trying to say Crawford will go in here and get beat by Fundora, who just got out the ring in August? You want to send your mans on a suicide mission. Banzai! It tight. You want to send him on a suicide mission to fight Fundora after being out that long? He's getting stopped, man. Why aren't you all talking about that? Man, go help your mans. Be available. Stop talking about Crawford and go help him, man. Don't have him going. I don't want to see Spence. If that is absolutely what it is, these detached retinas problem that he's going through, I don't want to see that man go in there and lose his eyesight, because Fundora is going to fuck him up. Fundora is definitely going to try to make a statement with Errol Spence. He's definitely going to do it. It's going to be a TKO. They're not going to allow the fight. I'm serious. They're not going to allow the fight to go. And that's their fighter. They're going to look out for Spence. So it's going to be another TKO just like they did Crawford. But if they allow it to go on like Tim Tszyu and Fundora, which I doubt, he's getting destroyed. So just bookmark that. Keep it close to your heart. Hopefully I gave you some information, but this is the reason why I put that up there. Is he retired or what? Because from what I've heard, them eyes may be the issue that why Errol Spence hasn't returned. Seriously. And I'm not talking about his weight and nothing like that, but he does have to drop that weight. And also people want to just talk about, oh well, he ain't fallen, he ain't found the trainer, he ain't found it. It ain't just that, y'all. Because look, a fighter doesn't have to balloon up in weight all because he don't have a trainer or a place where he want to train. No. No. He can get back in the gym and start losing weight. And it's going to be tough for him to drop even more weight now to get down. Look, if he's done picked up too much weight, that weight cut he about to do is going to be the same the same voyage. I mean, the same freaking journey he had to take to get down to 147 for the Crawford fight. I mean, you up here ballooning up in weight, eating good and all that, and you got to now make 154. And that weight cut has now become just as strenuous as when you was cutting down to 147. I'm just putting it out there. But Shaw News did make a great point about, Crawford being a cash cow and how he's looking at that. Canelo is basically requesting that amount of money on a fighter like that. It doesn't matter if Crawford's never made that amount of money. Canelo sees the challenge in it. Canelo sees that Crawford is a threat. He may say how he look and this, that, and the other, he'll beat him easy, but he's not. He's not going to beat Crawford easy. You know what I'm saying? He don't even know for sure if he's going to beat him. You know what I'm saying? That would be a fight for the ages. But why keep talking about it? Why keep talking about what will happen to Crawford? What would do? Who has done it? Let me leave you with this. You keep talking about what Canelo would do with Bud in this scenario. Okay, I get it. But Canelo has 2 losses already. He has 2 losses already. So you can say what you want, how you want, when you want. You can say it all over and over again. It doesn't change the fact that he's taken an L twice already. And then if you're looking at small fighters, Canelo has a history of fighting small fighters, so Crawford's no different. If he thinks Crawford is a small fighter, this, that, and the other, okay, it should be easy for you. It should be easy. But remember, I put the dates up here. I mean, I put these times up here. I'm not just doing it for fun. I put it up there so y'all can see that Spence has been out the ring for quite some time. And it's not going to be easy. But one thing, those of you that tuned in, shout out to the hottest chat in the MF game. Salute to y'all. One thing I want y'all to understand is that if you're ever in a situation where you're visiting one of these platforms that have allowed, Bud Crawford to become a superhero, you know what I'm saying? I just want you to put 4 letters in the chat. You know what I'm saying? And be respectful about it. All you have to do is put an S, a T, an F, and a U. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do. I'm not asking much. Arnold Brown on deck. What's good? Shout out to Lost All the Boxing, man. Hope all has been well with you and the fam, bro. You know what I'm saying? Haven't seen you in a minute, brother. Salute to you. And stay far away from Operation Deep Throat because there's a lot of them out here. They have mastered it. You know what I'm saying? They have mastered it. They have crashed out and they have said, fuck it. I'm all in now. We have to make a surge. We have to stop. Crawford is gaining momentum. They want to make it seem like they want to say what Crawford's not going to do and all that. But hey, at the end of the day, you allow him to become a superhero to be talked about the way he is. Why aren't you steadily talking about other fighters? I know, because you don't get that fun out of it. You know what I'm saying? That recreation is different. You know, it doesn't give you that. Eh, can I get a? You know, I get it, man. You know what I'm saying? I get it. Alexander, what's good? What's good, bro? One time, Keith Thurman. Jay on deck. What's good? I can't see Canelo beating Crawford because of Crawford's speed. And I believe if Canelo try to move and attack Body, Bud is going to make him pay dearly. Would you agree? I just think that everybody know Crawford is a very punctual counterpuncher, very high IQ. Just because it's Canelo Alvarez, I put them on the same elite status of being intellectually inclined to go in there and challenge one another in a fight and it be competitive. I do. I believe both of them can be competitive with fighting one another. I don't put Canelo's IQ above Crawford, all because, you know, he's in a higher weight division. You know what I'm saying? No. Both of them have high IQ. Both of them have been in matches they just don't want to talk about. We all saw how he looked in there against Miguel Cotto. We all seen how that looked. People always want to talk about Erislandy Lara beat Canelo Alvarez unless it's Crawford and Canelo. Now they don't want to talk about it. We have seen him in fights. We've seen him in Triple G trilogy. Well, we can't say the trilogy. We just want to go for the first to the second one because the trilogy was no combo. No combo. Even if you had something to drink, no combo. Canelo has had questionable fights, i.e., the masterclass clinic of Floyd Mayweather. So I mean, what do you want to happen? You think people just gonna ignore that? No, we have Box Rec, bro. Shout out to Haynes Legacy in the building, man. What's good with it, Haynes? Hope you're doing better, bro. I know you said you didn't get it done today, but you know, prayers don't stop. The Tower Inferno is about to flame that catfish. Hey man, he can't flame the catfish unless the catfish come out and play. You know what I'm saying? How a catfish get cooked? It's caught. Somebody have to catch it first. And Errol Spence don't seem like he coming nowhere close to the waterway, bro. You know what I'm saying? Hey, y'all check out Haynes Legacy. Hey, if you got your link, put it in here. You know, he going through some health problems. If y'all want to donate to the man and help him out, you know, I myself would appreciate it. I know we get super chats on here. I don't ask for super chats often, but I know people who donate to channels voluntarily. And all I'm doing is, you know, it don't have anything to do with me. It has everything to do with him, you know? So, you know what I'm saying? You have your link in here. Haynes, you know, put it in there for his GoFundMe. You know, he's supposed to have surgery today for some serious health issues. So if y'all want to help him out while he's not at work, I would appreciate it. I'm pretty sure he would appreciate it. It has nothing to do with me. I'm just putting it out there for, you know, friend of mine. You know what I'm saying? Haynes a cool cat. You know, help the brother out. You know what I'm saying? He has family like we all. So YouTube backwards today, they get more likes than viewers. Shadow bans are real. Yeah. I'm not even gonna talk about that. What's going on, Ron? How you feel? The OG Mr. Golden on deck. Salute to you. Is Canelo a duck or a goose? Well, it depends on if you know, eating it with some refried beans. You know what I'm saying? Some guap. It's according to, you know, you know, who's cooking. Be honest, man. I'm just saying, like, dude, real talk, man. This has to stop. You know what I'm saying? This has to stop. You don't want Crawford to fight Canelo, or you do? If you don't want him to fight Canelo, continue to hate because you're showing that you want to overlook everything that Canelo has done. You know what I'm saying? Crawford, last time I checked, has an O on his resume. And you can say that he ain't fought the but look, you was cheering like hell for him to move up and fight Bivol. Right? Bivol was a reigning champion when Canelo moved up to fight him. I mean, y'all was rooting for freaking Canelo when he went up there and fought Sergey Kovalev, right? Wasn't that 2 divisions? Why didn't Kovalev say it? And shout out to Toby for pointing that out to me the other day. I mean, when he moved up from 60 to 75 to fight Kovalev, y'all wasn't cheering on Canelo? So once again, it's okay, I guess, because Kovalev was white. Yeah, that might have been it. He had the complexion for the detection or something. Bud skin tone. I believe some of these cats are just furious at his skin tone. You know what I'm saying? They have them blinders on. They be trying to act like masters out here. Like they oh no, I don't like him, man. He something about him, man. Why they hate so much. But I'm just saying. Isn't that what Bud trying to do? He's trying to move up and be great. But you know, I think he's fighting Canelo at the right time. Canelo's been fighting since he was 15. You know, he's been a professional since he was 15, rather. It's a good time for both of them. Bud 36 going 37 this year. Canelo is 34. He's got a lot of miles on him. He did have the surgery before John Ryder. He got some issues going on too that might show his face because he got them knee issues. And you know, he wanted to go in there and show everybody that he can move around and this, that, and no. He needs somebody in there that's not going to play his game. And like Faint Master Marv. Faint Master Marv said, I'm not going to play Crawford's game by making this a fight. I'm just going to take my goddamn time. That's what Faint Master Marv said. I'm going to take my time. I'm going to make him fight my fight. Hold on for a second, y'all. Let me get some. Let me see right quick. Let me see what it do. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. I'm just trying to find something right quick. Hold on for a second. If you in here, can you hit the like button? Do me that. Give me that one. Just do me that one. Appreciate you. Appreciate your mind. Appreciate your mind. Hey, I just dropped the okay. Haynes just dropped it down there. He just dropped that in there. That's what I was looking for. I was going out there and see where he put it, but a support the brother. I would appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? We do a lot on here as far as who we support voluntarily. If you choose to, you choose to. Okay. Well, you know, help him out. I'm pretty sure a lot of us has been in situations where medically we was going through some stuff. All right. Until next time, man, y'all, shout out to the hottest chat in the MF and game. Y'all hold it down. Continue to support the channel. And be vigilant out there. Be vigilant. You know what I'm saying? Hold them accountable. You know what I'm saying? And Crawford's gonna fight whoever he has to fight. Ain't none of them gonna stop it because we already seen what happened last July 29th. We already seen what happened. Till next time, peace. I'm out.